Shalom, my name is Yehoshua. I'm an American scientist, an American citizen, a didactic scientist. I live in Jerusalem. I'm making this video as a thank you to the Kansas governor, Kathleen Selebius. Absolutely, without a doubt, of every of the hundreds of endorsement speeches, my own included. uh, Kathleen, Governor Selebius is the best by an order of magnitude. I wish you kabel b'shilitet, Governor Selebius from Jerusalem. That's Hebrew for receiving to give. That's the blessing of redemption. I want to say a few things that I think are very important in support of your thesis that Barack Obama is truly a great leader, and we're very blessed to have him. I support him fully, and I apologize for all the junk in the background. There's painters in here painting today, so please excuse the mess. Let me just say that there's been some extraordinary change in the world. We've had the collapse of the local reality globally, and that means the end of man and mankind's exile for religious people around the world, for the three monotheistic religions, and for the secular humanists. It means the end of the modern era and the entrance into the postmodern era. It means many things. The collapse of the local reality, its crescent event, which is sort of a metaphor. Its major event is 9/11, with the collapse of the Twin Towers, and the meta-narrative of that has four levels: the psycholinguistic, cognitive, behavioral, and psychosocial levels, which tell us that on the psychosocial level, the two models of East and West, communism, socialism, and capitalism and democracy, are imploding, are either collapsed or imploding, which is already the case. It began on December 25th, 1991. In the Soviet Union, communism collapsed, and the next year, in 1992, communism collapsed in Yugoslavia, etc. It's moving around the world. Okay. On the behavioral level, it refers to the two, or I should say, the three largest monotheistic religions, but particularly the two largest being Islam and Christianity. We have the collapse of the local reality, and its meaning is complex. I will just simply say that there is fundamental and structural change that is irreversible, already begun in both religions. Predicted very much by Nietzsche's nihilism. On the third level, we have, which is we've now spoken about the psychosocial, the behavioral. On the cognitive level, we have the collapse of the two largest economies, which refers to America's economy and the Japanese economy. And we already see the effects of cost of energy at $126 a barrel, which confirms that the old model of mass production, the division of labor, is that local reality is collapsed under the cost of prohibitively expensive energy, and so the solution is the new economic paradigm. Now, and the last is on the psycholinguistic level, and that refers to every individual on the planet, and it begins first with Israel, because that is what the prophets predicted for thousands of years in the Bible. The end of man and mankind's exile will come to Israel first, and then to the nations. It has, the local reality has collapsed. It began with the murder of Rabin on November of 1995. Despite all denials, we're in the postmodern era also of secular humanism and spiritual traditionalism. They're converging now, and moderates will emerge as the leaders both in Israel and in the region, both in respective as well Hamas and Hezbollah in Iran, and there will be peace. But okay, now those are the four levels. That's the enormity of the change, and more particularly this magnificent governor in Kansas, I have the greatest respect for. I please ask you to convince Senator Obama to get on the stump and endorse and commit to developing Humanomics in general, which is the framework for the post-collapse of the local reality, East-West collapse of the local reality, both models, and the convergence to the middle is the convergence model, which is Humanomics. Humanomics has two paradigms. Its central organizing principle is receiving to give, and the new economic paradigm. The latter is what we want Barack Obama to get on the stump and commit to develop and implement and acculturate as President Obama's new national development policy platform. Seek a mandate from the Congress, get it, invest $5 trillion, which will be amortized over 20 years, and 60% of that investment on the supply side will come from the developed economies as partners. It'll take us from a 14 trillion to a 50 to 60 trillion dollar gross domestic product. It will get a redistribution under democratic principles. Instead of an 80-20 split between Wall Street and Main Street, we will get to 70-30, 60-40, 50-50, and so forth until we get a just and a fair distribution of the national wealth without breaking our head on closet socialist constructs. We will simply raise up the bar and get democracy to work and take back Washington from the special interests, which Barack is certainly well versed on. Governor Selebius, I want to thank you. Because I'm just enormously impressed with your intelligence and your ability to see over the horizon and your vision. So let me wrap up and say I'm the author of Humanomics. I gave up and I despaired. As an American citizen, I saw the extremes of the corruption of the system and Wall Street and Main Street in Washington, and I left 22 years ago, and I've never returned. I've never once returned to America. I have adult children who have families there, and but when I saw the inspirational soul of this magnificent human being emerge, I have worked tirelessly for his nomination, and I will for his coronation as the candidate, and for his election as president, and for his development, implementation, and acculturation of the new economic paradigm. Why it's a win-win situation for Americans. What will it do? It will not only take the gross domestic product of America from 14 trillion to 45 to 50 trillion. It will create tens of millions of domestic content, sustainable jobs, ending at by the end of the beginning of the year one. Will be creating tens of thousands a month of domestic content, sustainable jobs within 3 to 4 years, paying in the index double the present income levels and triple by years 12 through 13 and on. It will eliminate entirely the national debt, the trade deficit. The project will be amortized and paid back fully. It will be generating massive multi-trillion surpluses in years 12 through 20. And I would simply say it's a win-win situation. It'll eliminate the trade deficit, it'll eliminate the Social Security deficit, it'll provide for the means to pay for comprehensive national health insurance for every American from cradle to grave. It will provide for the free education from kindergarten through college for every American who wants to go to college. It's a win-win situation. It'll not only that, it will raise up the LDCs to participate. It will provide for the doubling and tripling and quadrupling of foreign aid to eliminate disease, illiteracy, AIDS. It's a win-win situation. America can lead from the front again. And so I'm the author of Humanomics and its two paradigms, receiving to give and the integration of labor. That's what I've done with my life. Now we have to get on with the development, implementation, and acculturation of Humanomics in general and its new economic paradigm in particular. And so, Governor Selebius, I need your help. Help Barack to take and move this forward. Thank you very much. I'm Yehoshua from Jerusalem, and blessings in Kabel B'Shvilatet. That's receiving to give.